Hey guys, it's Jasma, and today we're going to make flour rice cakes. For Chinese Lunar New Year, I have already made a coconut rice cake video, so you could go check that out. The link for that will be in the description down below. And today we're going to make mango, chocolate, and coconut flavored rice cakes. These are going to be steamed in individual servings. I'm going to be using this flour mold, so it's going to look very pretty. And since it is steamed, it's going to be quite transparent. So it will be very chewy and very delicious. So let's get started. For the dry ingredients, you will need 400 grams of glutinous rice flour, 50 grams of wheat starch, a pinch of salt. And for the coconut rice cakes, you will need half a cup of white sugar, 1 egg, half a cup of coconut milk. And for the chocolate rice cakes, you will need half a cup of white sugar, 1 egg, half a cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. And for the mango rice cakes, you will need 1 egg, half a cup of mango nectar, and 4 tablespoons of mango powder. You will also need some additional flavorless oil to grease the molds. First, we're going to pass the dry ingredients through a sieve. So I'm going to add in the glutinous rice flour. And today in this rice cake, we're also going to add in some wheat starch. So the wheat starch is going to make this rice cake transparent, and we're adding this in because we're going to be steaming the rice cakes today, and this is going to make a very nice appearance. And also add in the salt, and this is going to enhance the sweetness. Now I'm going to divide the dry ingredients into thirds, and since this is 450 grams in total, each third will be 150 grams. I've divided all of my dry ingredients into thirds, so now I'm going to start working on the coconut rice cakes. I have a bowl here, which I will mix together the wet ingredients. So first I'm going to crack in 1 egg. I'm just going to mix that up so it's nice and loose. Now add in the white sugar. Mix that in. And also add in the coconut milk. Now add half of the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Add it in slowly so it doesn't form lumps. And just mix that through. Now add in the last bit of wet ingredients and mix it until it is completely smooth and there are no lumps left. If there are lumps, you can pass it through a sieve to make it nice and smooth. The mixture is now nice and smooth, so now we're going to move on to our next flavor, and I'm going to be working on the mango rice cakes. Once again, we're going to crack in 1 egg. For the mango rice cake, we're using some mango nectar and mango powder. And we're not going to be adding in any sugar because these are both quite sweet. But you could add in sugar if you want to. First, add in the mango powder. Just mix it in, and I like to add in the mango powder on its own so it could dissolve slightly. This is going to give the rice cake a nice color and a mango flavor. Then add in the mango nectar and mix that in. Now we're going to add this into the dry ingredients. I'm adding this in thirds. You can add a little bit more juice if you feel like this mixture is too thick, because the consistency of the mango nectar may be different. So this is perfect. It's nice and smooth and it has a nice consistency. So now I'm going to work on the chocolate rice cakes. And now for the chocolate rice cakes, I'm using some cocoa powder to give it a chocolate flavor, and I'm using regular milk. But you could also use chocolate milk if you like to, but chocolate milk is sweet, so you'll have to adjust the amount of sugar if you're using that. So first I'm mixing the chocolate powder into the dry ingredients. To crack in 1 egg. Now add in the white sugar. Mix that in. And finally add in the milk. And again, you can use chocolate milk if you like to. Once again, add it in thirds. I finished making all 3 of my flavors, and if you're a slow worker, make sure to cover each one up with plastic wrap while working so it doesn't dry up on top and form a layer of skin. Today I'm using this silicone mold. This is a flour mold, and I like to use these because they're the easiest to unmold. If you don't have this, you could also just use a regular pan, but make sure to grease it really well because glutinous rice flour is very sticky. So I'm also just going to grease this with some flavorless oil. You could use a cooking spray. I'm going to brush it on today. Once the mold is greased, we can start to scoop our batter into each mold. I'm using a standard size ice cream scoop. If you don't have this, you could also use 2 tablespoons. I have now filled the mold, so I'm going to tap it on the counter a couple of times to release all the air bubbles, so the design on the bottom will be nice and clear. If you feel like this is difficult because it is really wobbly, you could also place this onto a tray and then bang it. I placed my mold onto this tray, and we're ready to start steaming it. So make sure you have enough water in your pot since we're steaming this for 1 hour, and you could check on it a couple of times to make sure the water is still there and it's not dried up. If it is dried up, only add boiling water, do not add cold water into it. You will have extra batter because this recipe makes up to 15 to 18 rice cakes depending on the size of your mold. So you can pour the batter into different molds, but again, make sure you grease it really well. I have another mold here. The rice cakes has been steaming for an hour, and to see if it's done, just insert a toothpick into the center, and if it comes out clean, that means it is cooked completely. And there will be water floating at the surface. You can whether pour that out or just let it sit, and soon the rice cakes will absorb that moisture. You can eat this cold, but it will get harder in the fridge, so I suggest you to microwave it for around 20 to 30 seconds for it to soften up a bit and become a lot chewier. These are very pretty, they are very soft and squishy, so I really hope you can try them out. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!